Welcome back to Law Stash Channel. My name is Anton Vieltsin. I'm an attorney in the Southern District of California here in San Diego. By the time you watch this video, we have hit a milestone for this channel, 5,000 subscribers. And I appreciate every single one of you. I think it takes a certain person to subscribe to this channel. I know a lot more people actually watch it, but to hit that subscribe button, you have to be somewhat of a serious person that appreciates the law. We usually discuss criminal cases here that go all the way up to the Supreme Court, or at least the appellate courts. So thank you for watching. I also want to thank those people that have shared my channel with their friends and family. And then especially those people that supported me by purchasing my t-shirts from lawstash.com. And if you're considering buying one, if you do it now while supplies last, I will throw a bottle opener keychain so next time you watch my channel, you can enjoy a cold one. So this time, let's do something a little bit more fun. Let's discuss the number 5,000.
Quick message from Law Stash. Are you charged with a crime? Or do you want to know your rights if stopped by police? Watch California attorney Anton Vieltsin discuss legal cases from the Supreme Court, Ninth Circuit, and California state courts on the Law Stash YouTube page. Anton has handled hundreds of federal and state criminal cases, has an in-depth knowledge of the law, and has the best mustache ever. Subscribe to the Law Stash YouTube page. That's LAWSTACHE.
Let's forget about the law for today, and let's celebrate my 5,000 subscribers, which might include you if you've been watching this for a while. Let's begin with the first number, number 5. It happens to be my favorite number. But that's because I was born on the 5th day of the 5th month of the year. My Spanish-speaking subscribers can testify to the fact that we call it Cinco de Mayo. And of course, in the United States, that's also a holiday. But enough about the number 5, we're here because of the number 5,000. Part of my research into 5,000, I wanted to discuss the year 5,000. But it's so far away, I can't even wrap my head around it. So instead, I went backwards to the year 5000 BC. Turns out, we also don't know much about that year. We know that roughly 40 million people lived on this earth, which makes me think that's less than how many people live in the state of California here in the United States. So let's forget about the years and the timeline, and let's move on to the next topic, culture, or specifically paintings. And actually, that's both. If we're talking about the longest painting ever, it's called Culture 5000. When I was looking at this painting, it takes a long time for you to scroll through to see the whole thing. I will link it in the description below so you can do your own scrolling. But I will tell you, it depicts a bunch of fish. In fact, 5,339 carp to be precise. Now, I don't understand why it's not called Culture 5,339. It is called Culture 5000. But that's maybe because I don't really understand much about the arts. I focus on the law and a little bit of mathematics. As you might know, I have a background in engineering. So let's move on. Let's talk about numbers. The next number we're going to discuss is the number 5,000. And we're going to discuss 5,000 pounds. Things that weigh 5,000 pounds. And I'm not talking about you know who. I'm talking about the average white rhino, heaviest elephant seal, whale's tongue apparently, and Mercedes Maybach S560, which goes from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.7 seconds. It also happens to be a gas guzzler with an average of 12 miles a gallon. And it costs nearly $200,000 at its base price, and much more expensive if you want to put all those options in. Speaking of money, let's talk about the $5,000 bill. If you can imagine, at some point there was a $5,000 bill here in the United States. In fact, we know this. Lincoln is on a $5 bill, Grant is on a 50, McKinley is on a 500, but who is on that 5,000? The $5,000 bill has James Madison. And what do we know? It was discontinued in 1969, but it is still a legal tender here in the United States. James Madison was the smallest president in the history of the United States. Here's the fact that I really liked. Following a stint in the Virginia Convention in 1776, a young James Madison lost a 1777 bid for the election to the state's House of Delegates. He would later write that the defeat was the result of his refusal to provide free liquor to the voters on election day. A common practice and a custom at that point was known as swilling the planters with bumbo. Now, I like this tradition. I think we should go back to it. I think more people will vote if we provide free liquor. I don't understand why we had to move away from good things. And of course, if we're trying to sway people, and if somebody swindles you out of $5,000, you can always go to small claims courts. And here in the United States, here are the states that have a limit of $5,000. Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Louisiana, Maryland, Missouri, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Virginia. Those are the states that have a limit of $5,000 in small claims. And other states either have a lower or higher limit. But I like the states that have the 5,000 because after all, this video is all about the number 5,000. If you're watching this channel, chances are you might be watching it now on a cell phone. But back in the day, those things didn't exist. At some point, the most popular computer here in the United States was Compaq Presario 5000. Do you remember the Compaqs? Well, I do. It turns out to be my first computer. I remember when my parents brought the Compaq in the 1990s to our household. I played a few games on it and didn't really do much on it. But it was a great computer. It had a great design. It was all in one, meaning the screen and the keyboard and everything was sort of built in. I really liked that computer. But of course now we have better things. Compaq Presario 5000 was first launched in 1998. It was supplied with multimedia keyboard, a mouse, JBL stereo speakers, integrated sound, and a game port for a controller. At the turn of the century, in 2001, with an 80 gigabyte hard drive, it cost $998. It was a great computer, but chances are you're now watching this channel on your cell phone. Finally, if you like this channel, you probably have a really good taste. And speaking of taste, there are 5. There are 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. I like that last one, umami. It sounds good, right? And speaking of taste, there's always that 5-second rule. So if you don't like something, you can throw it away, but if you dropped it for 5 seconds, you can still eat it. If you enjoyed this channel so far, I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for sharing it with your friends and family. And finally, if I haven't convinced you yet, hit that subscribe button now. Thanks for watching.